More than 250,000 motorcycles have been stolen in the past 5 years, just in America. And by the end of this video, you'll know how they do it, how they sell your bike, and how to prevent it getting stolen. So how do criminals steal your bike? Well, there are multiple methods and therefore multiple ways to prevent theft. The first one is the easiest for thieves. Take a look yourself. 50 seconds and your beloved motorcycle is gone. Most bikes don't get ridden away. They get lifted away, and it happens fast. Faster than you can grab a coffee. Faster than you can blink. Picture this. You lock your bars, walk inside for a minute, and 3 guys in hoodies step out of a white van. They don't care about your steering lock or about alarms. They don't even care if your bike weighs 500 pounds. They grab it, they tilt it, they roll it straight into the van, and your bike is gone within 10 seconds. Your dream bike just turned into a VIN-less parts donor. And if you own a Yamaha R6, you should be very careful, because this beautiful motorcycle, with its 599 cubic centimeter engine, a liquid-cooled 4-stroke, 4-cylinder DOHC masterpiece, pushes out 118 horsepower, weighs only 420 pounds, and costs around $13,000. It is the most popular motorcycle in the United States for thieves. Why? Because the parts market is massive. Everything sells instantly. Fairings, forks, ECUs, wheels. Thieves don't steal it to ride, they steal them to strip. Learning from this video, please like and subscribe so you can join the tribe. So how do you stop a crime that fast? Well, there is only one rule. A thief can't steal what he can't move. So there are 4 rules to keep in mind. Rule 1. Chain your bike to something bigger than the van. Something like a ground anchor, a street pole, a steel railing, anything that cannot be lifted or cut in seconds. If the bike isn't physically attached to the world, the van crew will take it in under 10 seconds. Rule 2. Keep the chain off the ground. When a chain is tight and elevated, thieves can't use bolt cutters properly. They need the chain on the ground to get leverage. By keeping it suspended, you turn a quick cut into a loud, messy, time-wasting struggle, and time is the enemy of thieves. Rule 3. Add a disc lock as a delay tool. A disc lock won't stop a van lift, but it forces them to take extra steps. They have to spot it, remove it, or drag a bike that refuses to roll. That can add 10, 20, or even 30 extra seconds, which is often enough for them to abandon the attempt. And Rule 4. Never park where a van can back up directly to your bike. Van crews need a clean line. If you park between cars against a wall or tight against an obstacle, they lose their loading angle, and most of the time, they won't even try. Because if your bike stands alone, unchained, out in the open, you're not parking it, you're offering it. But what if time isn't the thief's biggest obstacle, but its biggest advantage? The second method, lockpicking and sabotage. Not every theft is fast and violent. Some thieves don't need a van, they need time. Because in the first method, time was the enemy of the thief. Every second increased the risk. But in this method, time becomes their weapon. The longer your bike sits alone, the easier it becomes to take. This method happens when your bike is parked for hours, at work, in a quiet garage, or overnight on an empty street. No rush, no panic, just a thief with tools and patience. Even if your bike sits in your own garden or inside your garage, if it's out of sight, it becomes easy prey. So, how do they do it? Thieves use an angle grinder, a flex to cut your chain or U-lock. It is loud, it throws sparks, but it works in seconds. And if you're not there to hear it, it doesn't matter how expensive your lock was. A flex doesn't care. And here's the worst part. If your lock is lying on the ground, it becomes much easier to break. They use the pavement as a lever, apply massive force, and snap your lock is open. But some thieves go for the quiet approach. They pick locks, not the ignition. That's rare. But cheap disc locks, cheap U-locks, old-style barrel locks, easy targets for someone with skill and time. They don't need noise, they don't need force. Just a tiny toolkit and 0 witnesses. And then you have the tech thieves. They pull a fuse, they disable your alarm, they bypass a poorly installed immobilizer. They wait for the moment you're not around, late at night, in a dark garage, behind your apartment, and when the system is dead, your bike becomes a silent, helpless target. This is the long game method. Slow, quiet, precise. And it only works when your bike is left alone long enough for a thief to take it apart piece by piece. Especially if you own an expensive motorcycle, you're a target. But if you own one of these two bikes, you pose the biggest risk. The first one, the Harley-Davidson Street Glide. The Street Glide is one of the most stolen motorcycles in America. Why? Because it is everything thieves want. High value, huge demand, and impossible to trace once stripped. This motorcycle, with a new price of around $26,000, isn't just expensive. It's iconic. It runs a Milwaukee 8 117 V-twin, air and oil cooled, with nearly 183 Newton meters of torque. It weighs over 800 pounds, carries a 22-liter fuel tank, and comes with a TFT touchscreen, multiple ride modes, and the legendary Batwing fairing. Riders love this bike, collectors love this bike, and therefore thieves love them even more, because the demand for used Harley parts is massive. And for many people, owning a Street Glide is a dream they simply cannot afford, so they steal the dream instead. But for some, the American dream needs to be imported from Japan. The second one, the Honda Goldwing. The next bike high on the theft list, especially with the slow and silent sabotage method, is the mighty Honda Goldwing. The Goldwing starts with a new price of around $25,600, is the ultimate luxury tourer, a 6-cylinder, fuel-injected, liquid-cooled boxer engine delivering 126 horsepower and 170 Newton meters of torque. A massive chassis, over 800 pounds with dual wishbone suspension, shaft drive, advanced electronics, and an infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is a rolling hotel, a prestige machine, and with a used market full of long-distance riders, every part, from panniers to electronics modules, sells instantly. Just like the Harley, many riders dream of owning a Goldwing, but the price pushes them away. So criminals acquire them the illegal way. And if you don't own one of these bikes, don't think you're safe. Every motorcycle becomes a target if a thief sees time, opportunity, and profit. Did your bike ever get stolen? Share your story in the comments below so we can learn from each other. So how do you avoid your bike being stolen when you leave it alone for hours? Because this method, the slow, silent, patient method, is the thief's favorite when your bike is parked at work, in a quiet garage, overnight on an empty street, or even sitting in your own garden or private garage. There are 6 rules you must follow, and the more of them you use, the safer your bike becomes. Rule 1. Use a high-grade chain and U-lock. Lock-picking and sabotage only work on weak locks. A hardened steel chain with a thick shackle takes minutes to cut. Loud minutes, and a solid U-lock on the front wheel adds another serious obstacle. For a thief who relies on quiet and time, every extra minute feels like a lifetime. Earlier, the chain belonged on the ground that stopped fast Van Cruz, but this method is different, so the defense is different. Rule 2, keep your locks off the ground. A lock or chain touching the ground becomes a lever for thieves. They use the pavement as force to break, crush, or twist the lock apart. Keep your chain elevated, tight, floating, and hard to attack. Rule 3. Use multiple different lock types. A thief can pick a cheap padlock. He can cut a cheap chain. He can bypass a weak disc lock. But when you use 3 different locking mechanisms, a heavy chain, a disc lock, and a U-lock, you force him to bring 3 different tools and 3 different skills. Most thieves pack 1 method, not 3. Rule 4. Add a silent alarm, not just a loud one. Loud alarms get ignored, but silent notifications sent to your phone, they alert you, not the neighborhood. If a thief starts working on your bike, you know instantly. Rule 5. Cover your bike always. A motorcycle cover may seem simple, but it is one of the most underrated anti-theft tools. Thieves don't like mystery. If they can't see the model, can't see the lock layout, can't see the value, most will simply walk away. A cover buys time and scares off opportunists. Rule 6. Park where tools are useless. Lock-picking and cutting tools need space, so park tight, against a wall, between 2 cars, squeezed beside pillars or barriers, or inside a well-lit, camera-visible spot. If they can't access the lock, they can't break it. But what if a thief doesn't need speed and doesn't need time? What if he can steal your bike without touching your lock and without even having your key? The third method, tech hacking and signal boosting. This is the new era of motorcycle theft. No vans, no grinders, no lockpicking, just technology. Modern motorcycles with keyless start can be stolen using a signal booster. A thief captures the signal from your key, even through walls, sends it to an accomplice near your bike, and your motorcycle unlocks and starts as if you were standing next to it. And for high-end bikes with advanced electronics, some thieves use ECU programmers, CAN bus spoofers, and ignition hacking tools. To disable immobilizers, program a new digital key and ride off silently in under 2 minutes. They don't break your lock because they never touch it. Especially if you ride a modern high-tech motorcycle, you are a target. But if you own one of these two machines, you're basically leaving the door wide open for tech thieves. The first one, the BMW R1300 GS. This is the most advanced adventure bike BMW has ever built, and that high tech comes with a price. It uses keyless ride, a digital start system that thieves love. Signal boosters can capture the key signal through walls, relay it to your bike, and within seconds the GS unlocks, wakes up, and is ready to ride. With a new value of around $19,500, a 1/300 cubic centimeter shift cam boxer, 145 horsepower, 149 Newton meters of torque, and BMW's advanced telelever/paralever suspension. This bike is a dream for riders and a jackpot for thieves. GS parts sell instantly, ECUs, bodywork, TFT screens, shift cam components. Everything has value. And just like with the Harley and Goldwing earlier, some riders dream of owning one, but the price pushes them into a legal temptation. But BMW is not the only European brand that's popular among thieves. The second one, the Triumph Tiger 1200 GT Pro. The Tiger is Triumph's technological flagship, and high-tech bikes attract high-tech criminals. With keyless ignition, semi-active Showa suspension, an 1160 cubic centimeter triple engine pushing out 150 horsepower, and a new value of around $23,500, this motorcycle is a prime target for signal boosters and CAN bus hacking tools. Why? Because the Tiger's electronics are gold. Used modules, dashboards, ECUs, all sell fast on the gray market, and the bike's high value makes it worth the risk. If you don't own one of these bikes, don't relax. Every keyless motorcycle, from scooters to superbikes, can be taken this way. But here's the good news. This high-tech theft method is easy to stop. You only need to follow one of these 3 rules and signal boost thieves are done. Rule 1. Don't leave your key near the door. Most riders drop their key on a hallway table, in a bowl, or hang it on a hook by the front door. That's exactly where thieves scan. Keep your key far from walls and windows, ideally in the center of your home. Rule 2. Use a signal-blocking pouch or box. A Faraday pouch costs the price of a hamburger and makes your key completely invisible. No signal, nothing to boost. Your bike becomes a brick. Rule 3. Turn off your key's signal if your model allows it. Many modern keys have a hidden sleep mode. Hold a button, tap a sequence, the key goes silent, and thieves get nothing. Follow any one of these 3 rules and this entire method collapses. But sometimes you do everything right, and your motorcycle still gets stolen. And this is every rider's worst nightmare. So what do you do the moment it happens? First, stay calm because panic kills time, and when your motorcycle vanishes, every second becomes crucial. Then make sure you are properly insured, and this is something you should check today, not after the theft, because the right policy turns a disaster into an administrative task instead of a financial nightmare. Next, report the theft immediately because roughly 30 to 40% of stolen motorcycles get recovered. And the longer you wait, the lower your chances fall as thieves move quickly. Also notify local dealers, nearby riders, and online groups because extra eyes on the street massively boosts your odds. And finally, always install a GPS tracker so you can track your motorcycle before thieves hide it in a chop shop or ship it away. Has your motorcycle ever been stolen? Tell me what bike it was and what you did afterward so other riders can learn from your story. But what if none of this works? What if your motorcycle disappears completely and never comes home? Then you face the darkest possible outcomes. What happens to motorcycles that are never recovered? Motorcycles that permanently disappear from police and insurance records generally meet one of 2 highly organized, professional fates designed to maximize the thief's profit and make the vehicle untraceable. 1. They are stripped down for parts, the chop shop. This is the most common destination for high-value or popular models, especially those for which replacement parts are expensive. The motorcycle is taken to a secluded garage or warehouse, a chop shop, and is completely disassembled, often within 24 to 48 hours of the theft, to destroy the bike's single identity tied to its vehicle identification number, VIN. The stolen motorcycle no longer exists as a complete unit. High-value components, such as the engine, suspension, wheels, electronics, and body panels, are sold individually on the black market, often through online classifieds. The total profit from the parts exceeds the resale value of the whole stolen bike, and the chance of recovery is practically zero. But some motorcycles stay intact, no chop shop, but made ready right away for export. 2. They are exported out of the country. Expensive, modern, and easily transportable bikes, especially adventure and high-end sport models, are often shipped overseas. And this is not theory. In 2024, a massive federal raid, U.S. agencies uncovered an international ring that exported over $6 million in stolen vehicles through the ports of Newark and Elizabeth. CBP also reported that in the Baltimore field office alone, more than 250 illegal exports worth over $9.6 million were stopped in just 1 year. These networks ship vehicles to African countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and Sierra Leone using false VINs and retagged paperwork, the exact method also used for stolen motorcycles. They do this as follows. The motorcycle is quickly loaded into a commercial van or sea container and transported to a port. They are typically shipped to destinations in Eastern Europe, Africa, or parts of Asia. Thieves do this to sell the bike in a market where vehicle registration laws are less strict and demand for premium motorcycles is high. Once the bike leaves the original country, the chances of recovery are almost zero. In the destination country, the bike may be sold with fake paperwork or have its VIN replaced with a clean one, a process called re-VINning or ringing, to make it appear legal. And if the bike stays intact and is not exported right away, it'll probably be used for another purpose. 3. Abandoned after joyriding or crime. This category represents the scenarios where a stolen motorcycle has the highest chance of being recovered, but can also permanently disappear if it remains undiscovered for too long. The first is joyriding. The motorcycle is stolen for a quick illegal ride, often by less organized thieves or youths looking for a thrill. After the ride is over, the thief abandons the motorcycle somewhere inconspicuous and out of sight. These bikes are often found in a deserted parking garage, an isolated residential area, or dumped in bushes along a road. The motorcycle may be lightly damaged from a crash or fall, or less commonly, remain intact and rideable. And sometimes they use your bike as a getaway vehicle. The motorcycle is used as fast, disposable transport during the commission of a crime, such as a robbery or a break-in. To eliminate any forensic evidence, like fingerprints or DNA, and to quickly get rid of the vehicle, the criminal sets it on fire to destroy every trace. The motorcycle is dumped and set on fire, leaving only a burnt frame and melted parts behind. In this case, the motorcycle is permanently lost and rendered unusable due to fire damage, even if its location is known. No matter what you ride, follow these tips, check your insurance today, and do everything you can so this never happens to you. Stay safe, protect your bike, and click the next video to keep learning. And don't forget to subscribe.